welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. Well, folks, depending on the time you are listening, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope your day is going pretty well. So, for this episode, we're going to take a break from talking about full length feature films and we are going back to, the topic of short films. I thought this episode will be a good way to, dial back a little bit and do something short, like a short film, right? Me talking about a short film. So, yeah. And obviously enough, if you are new to this podcast, welcome to Codo Cinema, podcast show where I talk about movies. If you are listening to this through YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And also, don't forget to check out Codo Cinema on Podbean and Spotify as well. So if you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button for more content, and don't forget to follow this podcast on Spotify and Podbean. Plus, I also have a Facebook page of Codo Cinema, and of course an Instagram page as well. But anyway, let's get to the short film that I'm going to talk about. And yes, to anybody who is listening, saw the title right, I'm going to talk about the Mickey Mouse short film, Mickey's Trailer. So anyway, Mickey's Trailer is a 1938 American animated short film produced by Walt Disney Productions and released by RKO Radio Pictures. The cartoon stars Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy on a near disastrous road trip in a travel trailer. This short was directed by Ben Sharpstein and features the voices of Walt Disney as Mickey Mouse, Clarence Nash as Donald Duck, and Pinto Colvig as Goofy. This short includes animators including Ed Love, Louis Schmidt, Johnny Cannon, Don Patterson, Clyde Geronimi, Tom Palmer, Frenchie Day Tremondon, and Cy Young. This cartoon was released about 5 months after Walt Disney's first ever full-length animated feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Mickey's Trailer was the 100th short in the Mickey Mouse film series to be released, and the second for that year. Now, for a short film, that is amazing right there, including back in the day as well, because long before Walt Disney did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, he did a lot of short films, most notably with Mickey Mouse as well. Like there's a lot, and outside, and of course other cartoons as other short films as well. There was another one that I saw where I watched where Mickey and the gang go to Hawaii. I'm pretty sure which is a short, I believe is a short. They're basically, having fun in Hawaii for a summer vacation. There was another short, and then of course there was another short that I saw where Mortimer Mouse comes in, and this is also around the time where at the time when I was little. Just to give a background, I was watching some of the shorter versions of the Mickey Mouse shorts through the Have a Laugh segment, which usually airs on the Disney Channel, where they show classic Mickey Mouse shorts, including Donald Duck and Goofy shorts. But they were most notably from the classical era. And of course, I have seen a few Mickey Mouse shorts from the TV show House of Mouse, to which that show needs to be on Disney Plus. I don't understand why House of Mouse is not on Disney Plus. That literally alone has a lot of Disney characters ranging from the Disney classical era to the Disney Renaissance. Like, why is House of Mouse not on Disney Plus? I don't understand that. I grew up watching that show on Disney Channel, and I even watched some of the newer Mickey Mouse shorts from that show. Just saying. But anyway, that being said, I even saw a few shorts outside of Mickey Mouse and his friends. Like they did one. I remember watching one I think one was called the Skeleton Dance, and then there was another one I saw. Obviously, Steamboat Willie. I can't forget Steamboat Willie because I'm pretty sure because as of now, Steamboat Willie is public domain. And then what was another one? There was another one. There was a couple other shorts I saw when I was watching Dumbo on DVD. That was basically in the late 2000s, early 2010s. They had a couple of shorts for that. And then of course Goofy had a couple of shorts. I saw one where he was, jousting in a tournament, and then they did a Mickey Mouse short where he has to fight a giant. And of course I have seen Fun and Fancy Free. I think that's the name of the title, where Mickey, Donald, and Goofy go up on that beanstalk to see the giant, basically Jack and the Beanstalk. And then, of course, Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia. Can't forget that. But those are some examples right there. So I have seen my fair share, but not a whole lot. I haven't seen a whole lot of the earlier shorts, but I have seen some shorts. In fact, with Mickey's Trailer, I remember watching Mickey's Trailer for the first time was when I was in a cartoon club back at Rangefield Elementary School, and I think I can't remember what year I was, but I was in elementary school at the time. I went to a cartoon club. We were watching different shorts ranging from, Bugs Bunny cartoons, SpongeBob, I think Tom and Jerry, and then of course Mickey Mouse. And one of the Mickey Mouse shorts that we watched was Mickey's Trailer because one of the main things from that short was basically the scene where Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck were having corn on the cob, and if you listen real closely, you hear they have this typewriter they had the typewriter sound effect going on in the background while they were eating corn, and I thought that was hilarious. Like, that's what I remember hearing. And in fact, I remember in one of the trailers they did like a Mickey Mouse collection. I think it's called Spirit of Mickey, and it featured Mickey's Trailer where they showed a clip where they showed a clip of Mickey and Donald eating the corn, and the typewriter comes in the background, and what's also funny too is that when that was going on, Goofy's head keeps shaking because he's watching Mickey and Donald eat the corn while that typewriter is going in the background, like ding, ding. That's probably the funniest. In my opinion, I think that's the funniest moment to come. In my opinion, that's probably the most memorable moment to come out of Mickey's Trailer is that typewriter effect. But anyway, that's my background on that. So anyway, how about we talk about this short film? And yes, this episode is going to be a bit shorter than some of my previous episodes, but you know what? That was okay. I thought I'd take this time to take a break from full-length feature films for one episode and talk about a short film. So anyway, let's talk about Mickey's Trailer. Oh, and a couple other things to mention too. Bill Herwig did the layouts and backgrounds for the short, and then of course the color process was done by Technicolor, and the music was provided by Oliver Wallace. If I'm missing out on anybody who was involved with the short, put that in the comment section below. So anyway, let's talk about Mickey's Trailer. So the short film opens up what seems to be a small house in a natural countryside setting. Mickey Mouse, who is being voiced by Walt Disney himself, who also produced the film, by the way, walks out the door and says, "Oh boy, what a day!" He pulls a lever and walks inside. The house is converted into a trailer with the natural setting in the shape of a giant hand fan revealed to be a city dump. Yes, in the background. So basically, they're basically living in the city, which basically turns out to be an actual dump. And of course, Goofy's car is released from the side. I don't know what's awesome. The fact that this trailer the trailer transform or the car is basically inside the actual trailer. So anyway, Goofy is basically the driver. Goofy is voiced by Pinto Colvig, and he starts driving through the countryside while singing "She'll be coming around the mountain." Like he's singing "She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes." You know, coming around the mountain, which I'm pretty sure that's basically a traditional song to sing while you're driving on the road around the mountains, I guess, or the countryside. I also like this little detail is that Goofy's car horn, on the car, it has that Roadrunner effect, right? You know the vocals for Roadrunner. You know Roadrunner, the bird from Looney Tunes, the one that goes meep meep. I got a feeling that's the same effect. I got a feeling that's the same effect they use for the car horn that Goofy is driving in. So anyway, while Goofy is driving, Mickey makes a dinner-like breakfast, and he collects water from a passing waterfall with a bucket to use for cooking water, and also for coffee as well, because he was also making coffee too, and he was also grabbing corn on the cob from the cornfields, and of course. Mickey had to milk a cow while driving. I'm not kidding. Yeah, to anybody who has seen this short, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, yes, Mickey Mouse had to milk a cow while driving, and I mean, it's Walt Disney. He's gonna pull out. Something crazy, right? But trust me, this short gets crazier and crazier as it goes. But anyway, we cut to Donald Duck, who is still sleeping and can't wake up, even when his alarm clock rings and pulls off his blanket. Mickey manages to, use a secret control board to, press a button and turns the bedroom into a bathroom. And Donald Duck basically, takes a bath, right? And while he's taking a bath, there's a bunch of birds watching him, and Donald Duck, he is singing in the bathtub, and he sees the birds, and he's like, hey, what's the big idea? I mean, can Donald Duck get any privacy? These birds are literally distracting him. Oh, man. But anyway, Donald swats them away with his brush, and later the bath is converted into a dining area, and Mickey Mouse brings over a tray of corn, coffee, milk, watermelon, and potatoes. And when Mickey rings the dinner bell, or I think it's a triangle, it's basically a triangle he rings. So when Mickey rings the dinner bell, or triangle, Goofy foolishly leaves the driver's seat without stopping the car, and he goes inside the trailer for breakfast while the car and trailer are still in motion. And, he wants to have breakfast. Okay, if he wants to have breakfast, shouldn't he pull over to the side of the road, stop the car, go inside? But you know what? Goofy's gonna pull off some crazy shenanigans, right? But anyway, there were several mishaps during the meal where Goofy was about to eat his potato, but unfortunately the car drives through a closed road sign, and it bounces up, and the trailer bounces up in the air. He lost his potato inside the drawers. He tries to grab a watermelon, but the drawers hit both sides of his face, and the watermelon splattered all over his face. And Goofy shaves the watermelon off because he has a watermelon beard. And then this leads into probably the most memorable moment in my opinion, which is the typewriter effect, where Mickey and Donald are eating the corn, and the cat and the typewriter effect is going on in the background while they're eating the corn. It's like ding, ding, and going off topic, and Goofy watches it, and his head moves along while his head bounces around while that typewriter is still going on when Donald and Mickey are eating the corn. I mean, it's funny. It's so funny. And going off topic for a sec, I like how that corn on the cob comes back. And this is, well, not in this short, but in the Charlotte's Web movie that came out in 1973, during the scene where Templeton was going out on the fair after dark, eating all the food, one of the food items he eats is a corn on the cob, and they do this like typewriter corn on the cob effect again, but this time from a xylophone where it goes. But what adds to the overall humor of that scene for Templeton is that he pushes the corn with his tail a couple of times, that way he can eat the corn. And I like how and I really like that reference too. And that was a good reference right there. But anyway, going back on topic, Goofy tries to eat the corn, but unfortunately, Goofy gets electrocuted, and his corn turns into popcorn. And he got electrocuted through a power socket, which is the reason why he got electrocuted, and the corn turned into popcorn, to which he eats for breakfast. So then later on, Mickey noticed that there's no driver driving the car, and Mickey is like, "Hey, who's driving?" And Donald's like, "Yeah, who's driving?" While Goofy says, "Well, I'm driving." But of course, Goofy wasn't driving the car. He's inside the trailer. So Goofy lunges out of the trailer, gets back in the car, but unfortunately he unhooks the trailer, and the trailer starts going downhill from behind. So, and it was done by accident, so he didn't know. But while he's driving, he says, "The worst is over. It's all downhill from here." So Goofy drives downhill with the car while Mickey and Donald are inside the trailer, and the trailer goes downhill. There's a moment where Mickey jumps out from the back of the trailer and pushes on a cliff on the opposite side of the ravine to push the trailer back on the road, and then the trailer approaches an oncoming truck driver, which is actually Pete, who cameos in this cartoon, and avoids it by driving onto a nearby fence. And Donald grabs the phone connected to an extendable metal arm and desperately tries to call for help. And it's so funny. It's funny too because Donald just says, "Hello, hello, out the window, out the window. Hello, hello, out the window, out the window." Obviously, he's calling for help, but it almost sounds like he's saying out the window, and apparently he is hanging out the window, but thankfully he was able to get back inside the trailer. However, another moment comes where a nearby train comes in, and Donald sees it and yells it to, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" How can you tell a train to get out of the way while still in motion? There's only one track. And of course, Mickey watches in panic while Donald begs for his life, and he prays to God for protection, hoping that he doesn't get hit by the train. But thankfully, the trailer manages to get past the intersection before the train can hit at a dangerously close range. The two are relieved that they survived, but suddenly another oncoming train, although it is unclear if the train is the same one from before or a different one, except this time the train has reached the intersection first. And like before, Donald prays to God once more while Mickey watches in panic, and that time the train clears the intersection at the last second, allowing the trailer to cross through safely. The trailer reaches the end of the road, causing it to roll down the hill like a boulder. Meanwhile, Goofy, who was singing "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain When She Comes," makes it safely down the hill, but does not see the trailer tumbling down the hill, as it miraculously rehitches itself to the car and is a wreck on the inside, but okay on the outside. Unaware of the dramatic events, Goofy says in the end, "Well, I brought you down, safe and sound." And that's it. That's my breakdown on Mickey's trailer. Man, I'll say this. That was a fun short film to watch. Knowing the fact that there were so many close calls when Mickey and Donald were inside that trailer as it rolls downhill. My goodness, it was a close call. It was like a close call right there. But hey, I mean, Goofy doesn't even realize that either. But Goofy, and it's also funny that Goofy doesn't realize it, but Goofy is Goofy, right? But anyway, I like this short. This was a fun short film. I mean, the film was. I mean, it was a good short. It was a good short film. In fact, this cartoon was later adapted. In fact, this short film was later adapted into a Mickey Mouse comic strip story titled "The Unhappy Campers," in which they replaced Donald with Morty and Ferdy Field Mouse and Pluto. This was because Donald was not a character in the Mickey Mouse strip at the time. And then, of course, the short film was also a part of the Christmas show From All of Us to All of You, which is a animated television Christmas special, and it was actually first presented on December 19th of 1958. Basically, basically the Christmas special, which came out in December of 1958. And then, of course, I didn't notice this, but this film was also incorporated into the 1983 film The Outsiders. And then, of course, some of the gags from the Runaway trailer sequence were reused from the Runaway car segment of the 1995 film A Goofy Movie. And I think that was when the car was driving alongside the fence before Goofy and his son Max landed in the gorge. I think that was that scene right there. And anyway, this short was released on December 4th of 2001 on Walt Disney's Treasures Mickey Mouse in Living Color, and on Walt Disney's Classic Cartoon Favorites Extreme Adventure Fun Volume 7, and the 1998 Spirits of Mickey Mouse VHS. And it was also re-released on Blu-ray, DVD, digital on the 2018 celebrating Mickey compilation. And that is basically about it. Now, before I close off, if I were to give this a rating, I give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, I love the short for what it is. It is a fun short film to watch, especially for a classic Mickey Mouse cartoon. But anyway, that is about it. So there you have it, folks. That is my take on the classic Mickey Mouse cartoon, Mickey's Trailer. But anyway, there you have it, folks. That is my take on the Mickey Mouse short film, or the Mickey Mouse animated short film, Mickey's Trailer. So anyway, to anybody who's listening, what did you guys think of Mickey's Trailer? Have you seen this short film? Did you like this? Did you like this short? Did you not like it at all? Did you think this short film holds up? I would love to hear your thoughts. But anyway, that'll be a wrap for this episode. And I will be going, next episode, I will be going back to a full-length feature film. Just for this episode, I wanted to dial back a bit, talk about a short film. So that's what I wanted to do for this episode, just to dial back a bit, talk about a short film. And of course, for my next episode, I will go back to full-length feature film. But anyway, that'll be a wrap for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in to Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. Remember to watch movies and stay positive.